Hi guys, I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
This is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, and we hope that you guys will subscribe, become members of Comic Club yourself, share your opinions of the stories in the comments, and stick around till the end of our discussion for our comic quality poll, and potentially after the Misfit Picture Show's logo for some potential bloopers, if the episode provides. Mr. Garen, we are doing House of X, number 6. Jonathan Hickman, Pepe Larraz, and Marte Gracia. This is the end of the first miniseries. What do you think?
Yeah, it's weird to think of it that way.
Yeah.
I actually went back through and read it, just parts of it again, thinking of it as it's two series that are one, you know? So it is like if you were just reading House, if you're just reading Powers, it just so happens it's on this line that kind of goes together, but at the same time it's, you know they're just going to make a graphic with just House, and they're just going to make a graphic with just Powers.
I hope not, but
And
it's
then,
very possible.
Just to get the
It's a 12-issue story.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do feel he was careful to begin and end a story within each one.
Yeah. Because the only thing I'm hoping for it to go so much is because the table at the end, when it has the release order, where it's like, come on guys, I'm giving you, like almost like he as a fan is on the same page as what we talk about as far as being like, guys, come on, just give us the order, put it in that order, and release it, and then give us a graphic note.
Yeah, this is the intention. You can see Jonathan Hickman probably in times past having his long box of comics and the X-Men issue that continued into the New Mutants, that continued into the Magic miniseries, and it's all chronological at some point in his thing. So when he went back and reread them, he was reading them in order. And I would imagine he would say, this is the proper collection. Yeah. Was it House of X issue 1 that had Sabretooth, or issue 2 going on that mission with Mystique? Was it in the house? Okay.
That was issue 1 of House.
So that's a good,
I put that down. I said that it's full circle where it comes back, and even me thinking, that's also what made me realize it's like pretty sure it was House.
Yeah.
Because it just goes to show if you read these 6, it's all one. It brings it back.
Right. And we actually had even expressed a little bit of surprise that there was the continuation of that Sabretooth Mystique story did follow up in one of the Powers.
I think it went right into the next, into Powers 1.
But you even commented at the time that you felt like, well, even if I hadn't had the previous House issue, this would have worked on its own. There was enough there for you to make.
Yeah. This is correct. Yeah. So it was House 1, issue 1, that Fantastic Four and Sabretooth had that altercation.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Okay.
And then...
look at you with your little library.
And then just jumps it,
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Right?
It's alright. So this is a pretty lovely issue. Let's just take it from the top.
I start off even with just saying right off the bat, Pepe Larraz and Marte Gracia, both, for it to, and I mean, we only have one issue left of Powers even, but to have that be a constant throughout these 12 issues is amazing for the art and the detail that they put into things and the colors. Again, we've had this conversation, as far as the actual printed version and the digital version, and what it just doesn't do it justice sometimes.
It doesn't, and the vibrancy of seeing it on your little device there, it doesn't. The printed versions don't do it justice, which is unfortunate. Even though the printed versions, I do feel like the cardstock of the cover, it feels like a quality, but there's something off.
Yeah,
and I do feel like we were saying last week with the art getting better and better, I feel like they are challenging themselves and rising to the occasion that the story provides. You feel like they're inspired by it. This issue, they outdo themselves. I just got goosebumps. That celebration at the end, the colors, just throughout the entire issue. It is a thing of beauty. It really is. And right from the cover, this guy draws some lovely ladies.
Yeah.
Like the White Queen is looking pretty alluring there.
Yeah.
And Storm as well, just commands it. Those are lovely ladies.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
And then we have the quote.
Just be like, hey, we ain't perfect.
Yeah. I think it's kind of, again, it's Hickman going, listen, he's
like,
probably his harshest own critic.
He is probably his harshest own critic, but when I read this, I thought that as far as it's another Hickman talking to us, and it was almost, when he wrote this, it wasn't like he wrote this yesterday. I mean, it's been done, you know? But it's one of those where he almost maybe second-guessed himself a little bit.
Oh,
so
sure.
it's the same thing as the Batman movie with the guy holding the sign saying, I tried.
Oh,
He tried.
Justice League.
Justice League, yeah. And so it's like that here being like,
yeah,
I did what I could. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I am.
Yeah.
Or how much I did making this. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But hey, just hold on.
Yeah.
Even if this isn't, because I mean, again, he doesn't know where people were going to be on board or not. But it's like, even if you're not on board now, it's a good, reread it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good start.
It's an excellent foundation.
Yeah.
Like it's a breathtaking foundation to take 12 issues, and we're at 11. Take the entire mythos of the X-Men line, decades and decades, thousands and thousands of stories, hundreds of characters, and you're a brand new reader, and you're on board. I'm on board as an older reader.
Yeah.
And I think you feel his excitement, and I think that you also feel his self-criticism. Not in an unhealthy way, but in a way that's like, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's good. We got this moving forward. And he even said in one of the interviews, or maybe even at Comic-Con, he like apologized to his editors. He's like, I'm not the easiest guy to work with. I'm sorry for all the rewrites, but I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You know? So who knows? Like you say, like, yeah, this has been done, but he may
Who knows
have,
if
like,
that was
at the
thrown
final,
in there? Yeah.
right? Like
Sure.
at the final,
That's true. Yeah.
the final cutoff point, he's like, wait, change this word to this word, or
Yeah.
But love it. So there's what we made 2 pages in 5 minutes into our conversation, and we're on the third page now.
Third page. Now on this one, the panel in the left corner. No, what is this helmet on? Is that just a Professor Xavier?
That looks like the evolution of Cerebro, and that's a good catch. I didn't even really think about that. We've seen Cerebro always on the mechanical thing.
Yeah.
It is clear with Douglock and Krakoa combined, and the technovirus that we saw Douglock touching. It is an evolution.
Yeah.
It's all of it.
Yep.
Again, we're not seeing Charles's face.
Nope. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. A big, bold sentence that Charles does here in his speech is that the dream was a lie.
No, I know. It was a pretty, still trying hard to like trust him, and then him going full out and be like, look, humans, I try to play nice.
Yeah.
But, I was hoping we'd all get along, but that's a lie.
How do you feel about all that?
It was again, how we've been talking the last few weeks. It's just like, I still don't know how to trust them, even with the ending of this being all like, hurrah, and like, it was like, hey, I'm proud of what we did, Whether it's them as, Magneto and them as the mutants, and then, or as Hickman saying, I'm proud of what I've done. All that is great, but this first 3 pages before the title page, it's hard still to hear, knowing from where I'm from, even from reading these last 6 issues, the 12 issues, 11 issues, picturing the Professor Xavier that we are now here to know, and not who reading in other comics or in the movies or something like that, and being like, his words is totally what, if Magneto was saying those words, I'd be like, makes sense. That's his point of view, Yeah. But having him say these words, it's like, what broke you? Who are you? What is going on?
Right. And it's interesting that you say, what broke you? Reading these, and I know that there's going to be a reveal later on. I was expecting it to be by the end of this series. I think Hickman is going to hold off. I think it's going to be kind of the end of his Act 1 of his Uber story. So I think that reveal is still coming. But even me, being the person that was the doubter, that wasn't trusting, listening to Charles and hearing him, I couldn't argue with anything he was saying. 16 million mutants were murdered.
Yeah.
They have this first step.
Yeah.
When he said, I would have given this to you guys as a gift. He would have.
No, he would have, yeah.
And it's like, I'm not gonna.
And I take that back as far as like the 16 million. That is what, and it even said like that is what broke him. But it's still just so hard to be like, he's the one person who saw the good in everybody. Right. You know, he saw the good in every person. You know, whether it's like, I'm not giving up on you. I'm not giving, you know, whatever storyline you're reading, you know. Again, I'm watching movies and doing this and going back over things, but you just see like, he never gave up on anybody, even at their worst. And now for him to finally break, which makes sense, 16 million people, mutants, dying, that is his breaking point. And even then, for what he's asking for, he's not asking really for much.
No, he's not.
It's
interesting. There's so much mythology that you haven't read. I think at this point, it's not a deterrent for you. I think that now you're excited and inspired. Now you just want to like download it all, which I think is really, that's effective. That's all you can hope for. He took in Logan. He took in Rogue. He actually even took in Sabretooth at one point, and that was a disaster. But he took in Sabretooth to try and rehabilitate him. So Sabretooth being in this, it's an interesting, without fuddling a new reader's mind with the continuity history, he's still really aware of that history. Yeah. And it's really cool. And it works both for you and for me. The one thing, it's cool to see the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, but then the laws. He's going to take every mutant that's broken, that's murdered, give them back to us.
Yeah, almost like let us be the
judges.
The judge, yeah. Let's judge it.
So do you feel like if a mutant had wronged the family, your family, the people you love, and with the promise of a disease-free future, would you give that mutant over that murdered your wife, your father, the people you care most about? That's the pickle. Yeah. That's the tough point.
Yeah. And not fully knowing.
Right.
Like you're just gambling on like...
Right. What are you guys really going to do with these mutants? And that is complicated. Just going back to the very first issue we read, when I said this is complicated but in the right ways. And again, it's complicated. There's no easy answer to that. Yeah. I think many, many people would answer that question in many, many different ways appropriately.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to think of like even in putting into that situation that context, what you would do with that choice.
Like we both have sisters. If our sister died because Sabretooth was bored one night.
Yeah.
And they're asking us, with a disease-free future, give that murderer over to us. Tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And you would almost need, you'd almost need proof, but that is why they did what they did to Sabretooth. Where it's like, it was unanimous. They're all like,
I gasped out loud with Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Not in a way Kurt. Just, whoa, Kurt. Yeah. I felt like that was his choice. And I didn't be like, oh, that's so out of character. I just was like, whoa, Kurt. And it was cool. It was cool. Yeah. I just kind of wanted to ask you that. I think that's the sticking point. Then we go to the council, which Winter was Sinister, Exodus, and Mystique. And I was like, whoa, that's a bold choice. But right after that, I loved the Summer, Storm, Jean, and Kurt.
Yeah.
Those three, there's such empathy that those characters have for others.
Yeah.
It counters Sinister, Exodus, and Mystique.
Yeah. It's still taken back with again, and I'm still new to all this, but seeing all these people in one panel or one page around a circle and having to make the first of these laws that are for mutants, and just seeing like
the strangest Knights of the Round Table you could ever
yeah,
imagine.
just like, wait, what do you guys? All of you want to kill each other at one moment or another, and now you guys are sitting around writing down the laws, like.
Yeah, and what a fascinating, it's 11 characters. One has still not been revealed who's going to sit next to Emma and the Sebastian. Just 11 characters sitting in a room, and there's a discussion for 4 pages. But boy, I was pretty riveted.
Yeah,
I was pretty much entertained.
It was entertained, and you're watching, and you're just like, okay, this is
dynamic.
Yeah, again, it just, and I think for that snowball effect of everybody just being on board, like, yep, or even if they weren't, could care less, like Apocalypse, like, I don't care, like, get rid of him, I don't care. Each person's little reaction, like Storm's, like, her reaction of being, like, yep, I believe she should get rid of him. Each person's character, their point of view as far as their character, which then shows Hickman's research of knowing what each one of these would say, like you said with even Kurt, where it's like, what? But it still wasn't out of his character.
Right, it wasn't like turning like tables over.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on. I feel like, I don't know Hickman personally, but I could even imagine this random scene, not random, but this scene with these characters sitting around a table may have been his most, like his favorite to write. Like, wow, look at who I'm getting to play with. What are they going to say to each other? It's pretty cool. And the great captains on the tech page of the 12, the council.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
At the bottom, there were the great captains, which are like field leaders. And not to be questioned at all by anybody when they're out in the field.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Bishop, a couple of them. Bishop. They're cool choices because Bishop is from the future. He saw the world decimated and came back in time. Cyclops is the leader. Gorgon is really interesting. As far as I know, he's an Inhuman, which you don't need to know. Magic is Colossus's little sister, and she was the one with Limbo, with that magic sword, all that stuff with Inferno. So he's still really, that's going to be pretty big.
Connecting it all.
And again, for their first order of business, I thought I would kind of be in the minority because I was doubting, because I was distrusting, because I was maybe even more paranoid than the average reader. Like in the comments last week, we had somebody that was right on board with them.
Yeah.
And he was like, why are you guys even questioning this? I thought, wow, maybe I'm too stuck to the past. Maybe I am questioning this for no reason. And then when they brought up that question that I put to you about the laws handing over mutants, I appreciated that Hickman, first rule of the council is to bring Sabretooth in.
Yeah.
First rule of the day. First rule of the nation. Like, let's go right to it. And I'm not as alone as I thought. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder with Hickman putting that right up front, I would imagine he would actually be anticipating that.
Yeah,
the readers kind of thought there about that.
No, I love how they brought Sabretooth into it with the whole water bubble, water thing, just bring it like he's being in this thing, and then have it just like dropped and like a water balloon, and him be there and just kind of like
beautiful visual. But also, could be Storm working with Jean, or another mutant that's off screen. Like, it's just really cool. They are beyond us. They feel like that. They feel like we would be running to catch up to these individuals. And I love that, that's their first law, that no human life can be taken.
Yeah.
Because we can't redo them.
Yeah.
And I like that Emma's like quiet, and he's still kind of breaking through with his will. And Jean's just like, quiet. He starts drooling.
It's like, oh, he looks so cool when he's like
she's a special character. I really love that this summer. Storm, Jean, and Kurt. Boy, I love Kurt. And I kind of like thinking of Kurt through because you seem to be kind of drawn to him. I'm not a man of religious faith, but boy, do I ever love him. And when he was asked about that specific thing, what did you think about that whole sequence?
I thought the same thing as it wasn't out of character, even knowing the little I know about him, but just being like, yeah, his response would be biblical. And then when they're like, well, what should we do next? And he's like, well, this is what I know. This is my viewpoint. And he's like, well, but just like his sophistication about it, his him being able to speak in Scripture and say, and God unto them be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. And on the seventh day, and on this, I'm like, how did the earth come to be so plentiful? It's like, isn't it raven? I mean, isn't it obvious? I don't know why we need to make more mutants. It's like, duh.
Yeah, to see him here, to see them all, Mystique's kind of trying to give him a poke, but they're all respectful of it, which is even then an evolution of us. Where so many people are not respectful of other people's beliefs here and are threatened by it or this or that. But they listen to him. He considers it for a moment. Quiet. Yeah. And everybody's quiet. I think it's really, really pretty. And
he's just like, well, yeah. I mean, it's obvious.
And he's also a little bit of a sly devil. He likes the ladies, Kurt.
Yeah.
He's gonna like making more mutants.
Yeah.
And then they give pass judgment on Sabretooth.
Crow was the final judgment maker. They're just like...
It's no joke.
Yeah. You're exiled. Which is cool that he gives them an open door, kind of like...
It's possible.
I'm not saying you'll never come back, but I'm just saying you're there for a very long time until something comes up.
Well, until he breaks out and starts killing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Issue 9 of...
But it's, I like that Mystique, you might not be aware of this either, but Mystique says just get it over with.
Yeah.
They actually have a child together, Mystique and Sabretooth.
Oh.
And Mystique is Kurt's mom.
That's what I thought.
It's an incestuous mythology for sure, the X-Men. I like that there is a bit of somber there. Like this, it wasn't a happy moment, and he hopes that it never becomes happy, something like that.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want to get used to this. He's like, I really wish I could give the humans it for free. I really wish we didn't have to do this. I really, it's like, but after all I've learned, the worst thing to do is not learn from my mistakes.
Right.
Hopefully it works, in that way.
See, this issue, maybe for the first time in this series, and maybe this was why I was so on board with Professor X. Not in an excited way, but in a not defeated way, but inevitable way. In the issues leading up to this, it felt like he had an ulterior motive, like a selfish motive. All of this, I don't feel like there's a selfish motive in him this issue. He's doing all of this for his people.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I think it clicked, because like I said, the first few pages I was still like, but I think he earned his right, or my point of view of that little somberness after Sabretooth. Being like, he's like, I really don't want to do this, and I hope we don't get used to this, but...
See, going back to what I asked you about your sister.
Yeah.
If you were watching, what are they going to do to the murderer of my sister?
Yeah.
And it got to that ending, you wouldn't have been cheering, but you'd have been like, that's justice.
Yeah.
And then we get into this celebration.
It's cool, like, little voiceover kind of, like, explaining things. You see all the different, excitements and people having, enjoying each other. You see Jean, Cyclops, and Wolverine.
Yeah, all the characters you recognized you must have really enjoyed. All the characters I recognized I really enjoyed. I think every single character in every single panel.
Like, this one is great.
Yeah, the originals.
Look at them. Just sharing a beer. Just like... They're all having fun, because, at the end of the day, they're all mutants.
Yeah, I don't know who this... It looks like some...
Someday in the future.
Japanese person Logan's handing the beer to?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. If you go back a page, this is really cool. So this is Banshee and...
Oh, cool.
And then flip to the next panel. This is Dazzler, who converts sound into light.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool. That's
next
fun.
panel.
That's cool.
Siren is screaming.
That's funny.
And Dazzler is turning it into...
That's smart.
Isn't that awesome? Just really cool. And how random. What a random characters,
Yeah.
But then it's Dazzler and Siren and their acting and character, they're just perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Creating
perfect.
the party. Even this right here.
Little Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No, it's amazing. And not to burst the bubble, this all leads to their mission, where they all died trying to stop Nimrod. And then he had to rebirth them.
Because this is
This is the beginning, and then they go on. Humans go to act with the Nimrod. They try and activate it, and that's when Professor X they're doing it again. It's like, you've got to go up there for your mission.
burst into that bubble.
Sorry. So this all led to them all dying, and then being rebirthed to meet my X-Men. And then
What?
And then Storm celebrating with everybody. This is my brother.
That's right. What do we believe? I remember that issue like it was yesterday.
It broke our hearts.
Broke
Now
our
it would
hearts.
break our hearts even more
I
if that came out
know.
next week.
Wow.
And then, Mr. Guerin, there was one.
And then there was one, and it's a red one. Powers of X, Powers of 10.
Powers of 10.
It's Powers of 10, issue 6.
1 week.
Guess what the name of that issue is called?
What is it, Guerin?
House of X.
Powers of X number 6 is called House of X.
Powers of
Powers
10.
10 number 6.
Called House of X.
Okay, that's pretty cool. This is pretty fun.
It's crazy.
What would you give it?
So here's the thing, guys.
Uh-oh. Here's the thing.
I at first
Hmm.
gave it a B plus,
Mm-hmm.
but it moved up to an A
When?
after our discussion.
Nice. Hey, how about that?
Because on me, which I love, that's what the best part about this whole thing was, listening to your guys' comments and learning from there, or people at the comic book shop, or me and JD just talking in our off time and just connecting the dots, or like the possibilities, you know.
Yeah, and just reflecting on
nobody's
things you
yeah,
already
and
know.
nobody's response or reaction or input or opinion is wrong or right, or like.
Well, I think this issue as well, like, you probably, as far as all of the issues, all of the foundation has been set. There probably wasn't a moment in here that baffled you like other issues. You were just absorbing it. It's pretty cool. You know, it's been 11 weeks, but it feels like a lot more story has been told than 11 issues.
Yeah.
He's done a really great job with that.
July 24th.
In only the second time since we started our investigating comic club, I'm giving this issue an A+.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a masterpiece right here.
Well done. Well done. So yeah, I gave it a A, B, A. You
A.
give it A. I gave it an A. We gave it A's. What do you guys give it? Comic quality poll, A, B, C, D, or F. And then let's talk about it. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to talk about. We had some great times last week talking to JC and Matthew and Christian. I don't know how to pronounce that, but we were all giving theories about back and forth. I think that we kind of...
There's a few things, yeah.
We nailed some good theories, but I don't think that some of those theories will come to fruition for quite a number of issues.
Yeah.
I thought really by the end of this series, but no, I think that this is the season 1 Bible. And I think that he's going to play with it for at least the first 12 issues of X-Men. So I hope we're going to be getting some more conversations and comments this week, guys. And I look forward to them. And I certainly look forward to next week's House Powers of 10, number 6. Right? Cool.
To be continued.